In today's video, we're going to walk through the light rifle design that we've come to find to be a great fit for Jet. Now, Jude's gun is very similar, but there are a few key differences, and we'll point those out. In the National High School Rodeo Association light rifle rules, the gun can only weigh 8.5 pounds with optic. The trigger can be a minimum trigger pull of 2 pounds, and the optical zoom is a maximum of 10. Now, granted, the scope can be greater magnification. They just tape it down to 10 or less for a competition. We have been in the light rifle game for 6 years now. The kids started when they were in the 6th grade. And as you can imagine, the guns have grown with them. We've done some experimenting, and this is what I have found to be a really good gun for a youth shooter. It's in the Boyd's @1 thumb hole stock. The kids love it. Matter of fact, if you were to ask them one thing that they would not compromise on their light rifle, it would be the Boyd's thumb hole @1. You can see this gun grows with the shooter. It has an extended length of pull and an adjustable cheek riser with the push of a button that can extend or retract and grow with the kid. This gun is a CZ457. You can see that it's clearly unloaded, and that action has proven to be very precise. We took the standard barrel off and put on a Proof Research carbon fiber barrel. Jet's is a 20-inch barrel. And as we were playing with the balance of the gun, we ended up adding an EC tuner. A tuner adjusts your ammo. So basically, you can change the vibration or the harmonics of your barrel to tighten the pattern groups of your ammo. In light rifle, this also helps with the balance of the gun. So completely optional, but something we found to be a competitive advantage. We try to run only precision quality components on this gun. You can see we have some Hawkins precision rings. We actually built a gun using a competitor's ring when we first started, and in transport we had a ring crack. And so I can just tell you, do yourself a favor, spend the extra money and buy the Hawkins precision rings. We've never had any issues with them. Those rings torque down to 25 inch-pounds, and the base torques down to 65 inch-pounds. And those are on there solid. For the optic, there are many choices. Jet really likes his GPO, a German precision optic. This is a 2-16 by 44. It has an illuminated G4 reticle, so it's a kind of a German crosshair. It's a standard crosshair, but slightly different than the American version, but it gives him a great sight of picture. He has cap turrets for his windage and elevation. This is super handy for transport. For light rifle, all of the targets are 50 yards, standing, kneeling, and prone. And so there's not a whole lot of dialing. The kids learn to hold for wind. We like the cap turrets because it certainly protects anything from being knocked over in transport. And another thing on these scopes, make sure they have an adjustable side focus or parallax. Shooting at 50 yards, you have to be able to turn that parallax down. This scope is illuminated. That is allowed, but clearly optional. We've done some modifications to this. You can see that we took a little bit of pipe foam and wrapped some vet tape on it to give Jet a little bit more of a cushioned cheek rest, and also to give it just a little bit more height. We've also adjusted the aluminum plate here We actually had a friend machine out the inside to cut weight. Now, you don't have to do that, but again, we have taken the light rifle game to the extreme. We spent countless hours researching, testing, and trying to figure out what setup gives a kid the competitive advantage. Now, total cost in this gun, well, Mama might be listening, so we're not going to say that out loud for the video. But you can imagine that when you run premium parts and components, it does add up. We put a aftermarket bolt knob on this. We put an aftermarket mag well, an aluminum mag well, replaced the plastic one, just to make sure that nothing breaks. These kids work so hard to qualify for the national finals that the last thing you want to have happen is an issue when you're traveling or in the competition. But nonetheless, I hope this video helps somebody. This is a pretty cool little gun that's going to grow with Jet until he graduates. And so you could essentially have a 5th grader run this gun all the way through 12th grade. Now, I wish we would have bought this setup when the kids started shooting in the 6th grade. We started with custom 1022s, putting them in Magpul stocks. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, the 1022 resulted in the kids shooting their 12 shots really, really fast. And so in effort to slow the kids down and make them a little bit more precise in their shooting, we went to the bolt action. Now, bolt actions are typically more consistent, tighter patterns, etc. However, we had really good luck with 1022s. But again, if I was to recommend to a new shooter or new shooter's family, which we do a lot of, this is the setup that we recommend. Again, it's a Boyd's thumb hole at 1 gun stock. It's a CZ 457 action. It's a Proof Research carbon fiber 20-inch barrel. EC tuner, this is the V3 version, and a GPO Spectra 8X for the optic. If you have any questions, let us know. So many people were kind and generous with their information as we were getting started, and we're happy to do the same for other shooters and their families. Shooting is a great sport, a lifelong skill, and a competition that we have found that provides a little bit of problem solving, a little bit of mental composure. Obviously, safety is paramount, but it's a great, great skill for the kids. All right, now this is Jude's setup. It is really, really close to Jet's. Again, we solved the problem of what an ideal light rifle setup was, but Jude had a few different recommendations for components that he liked. Again, we're still in the Boyd's thumb hole at 1 stock. It's still a CZ 457, obviously unloaded. We put a Proof Research barrel on it. Jude's is 18.5 inches, where Jet's is 20. And Jude is running the EC Tuner V2 on his, and his is stainless. Jude's a little bit more for the bling. Now, for his optic, he went with a Leupold VX5 HD. This scope is a 3-15 by 44 with a standard crosshair. Both the kids run the Kenton turret tape. We don't dial a whole lot for the light rifle shooting, but when we have the turret tape on there, it helps us clearly see if we've knocked it off of 0, or if we might have to dial because of extreme wind, the kids know where they're at and when to get back to 0. But nonetheless, that is a personal preference. You can see that he also has the Hawkins rings, the barrel, the stock, the tuner, the trigger weight, the custom knob, the custom mag well, Everything is the same. The only minor variations on this gun is Jude's is an 18.5-inch Proof Research barrel, V2 tuner rather, and a different manufacturer of a scope. We also hollowed out the aluminum inside of this plate for balance purposes. Also built him up a little higher of a cheek riser. These guns shoot sub MOA all day, every day. In fact, when we put them on the bench, we'll consistently get 0.1, 0.2 groups. I help them make sure that their guns are sighted in, and we've shot all different types of ammo, from Eley to Lapua to SK, standard match, both of these guns are sub MOA guns all day, every day. I do all of the sighting in for the guns to get them close, and then we put the kids on the bench so their eye is clearly dialed in for the scope. These guns produce 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 5-shot groups at 50. When we're looking at ammo, whether it's brand or lot number, I will cull anything that won't do a 0.2 or better at 5 shots on 50 from the bench. Now, when we're in light rifle, it's standing, kneeling, and prone, all offhand, unsupported. Now, does ammo make that big of a difference? I'm going to say yes. When you get good at shooting, everything becomes magnified. Much like a professional tennis player would notice the difference of a high quality tennis racket and a low quality tennis racket. The same is true for these kids shooting these guns. They know when their ammo is not a premium ammo. Now, I like it when cheap ammo puts 5 in one hole, because that's cheaper for me to buy. However, what we found is you have to almost go to a SK Standard Plus, SK Match, Lapua Center X, Eley 10X, and even Eley Match to get the type of results that we're comfortable with in a match. Now, one addition that I forgot to show on Jude's gun is we custom, by custom I mean we cut this out, and it's a little bit of a grip tape to put where his hands go. Again, this was something that he liked, not that's necessary, but something that he felt gave him a little bit of an advantage. So again, 2 guns, almost identical. Results off the bench are very consistent. These guns shoot lights out. Matter of fact, the first 5 rounds out of these barrels was with Federal bulk box ammo, and they all 5 went in one hole at about 0.2. I actually took a picture of it and sent it to my buddy at Proof, and asking him what the barrel break-in period was on these guns, because I didn't believe that that was typical. I thought we had to break these barrels in, but I'm telling you, they are shooters out of the box. I did all of this myself. If I can do it, anybody can. Like I tell my wife, it's for the kids, so no questions on how much is this going to cost to set up. It's more of, do you want your kids to compete, or do you want them to show up and have a good time? Now, shooters shoot. And I'm confident that at 50 yards, you can have a kid shoot really, really well. But I'm also confident that when you buy a premium product and you know every single component of that rifle, your kid steps to the firing line with another level of confidence. I hope you like the kids' guns. Again, these grow with the kids. My advice would be buy once, cry once. Hope you liked it.